Welcome into another high school preview segment, part of the Powell Money Dugout Show. Today we've got Coach Weathers from Daniel High School. What's going on, Coach?
How you doing, man? Good to see you again.
Yeah, it's definitely good to see you. It's been a while since last high school season. I know we saw each other a good bit, but it's always good to talk to you.
Yeah, the months in between seasons seem to go a little slower every year. So
yeah, they go fast for those 3 months, and then it slows down big time. So I want to jump in with you and talk about last year. I know you guys went on a big streak throughout the year. Talk about last year a little bit and some of the guys that you lost that were critical.
Yeah, so last year was kind of it was a very successful year, but at the same time, we missed the playoffs by like a half a game. And, there were games that we can point to throughout the region season where we didn't perform the way we should have. And, we had no one to blame but ourselves. But at the same time, we won 15 games on the season. It's the most we've won at Daniel since like 96 or 97. So, we finished the season winning 9 out of 10 and our last 5 in a row. So, we played well at times. And had we made the playoffs, I feel like we would have been tough to handle.
Yeah.
And then losing Brody Kahn to Clemson and Brooks Morrow to SMU and Isaac Stewart to Lander. Those were our 3 college commits last year. That's tough. That's 12 home runs combined off of last year's team that we won't have back this year, and about 65 RBIs, I think. So, but I like what we have coming back. There's several other guys. Luke McIntosh was a great leader for us on the mound on Fridays. I think he ended up winning the most region games for us last year. So, we lost a bunch, but I feel really good about what we have coming back too. So,
yeah, you say that. I remember telling Sammy as you guys were trying to make that playoff push, and I had told him, I said, if these guys get in, it's going to be a lot of trouble for other teams, because I remember watching you and I'm like, this team's legit.
Yeah.
But that's just with a tough region you play in as well. It's a grind every day, and you saw that last year. So talk about some of those returning starters that you get back this year that are going to be crucial.
Yeah, so our starting center fielder was going to be one of our region starting pitchers this year, most likely, is Clay Hurd. He's a great young man, works his tail off. He hit about 300 last year for us as a junior, and he's going to be a vital part of us being successful, not only over the season, but especially in our region play. And then Gavin Batt, he's going to come back. He started in a couple different places for us last year. He played shortstop, second base, outfield. Right now, we think he's probably going to slide into that shortstop place and go back to being our leadoff guy again. He's a firecracker at the top of that lineup, and Gavin's one of those that if he's hitting, we're all hitting. So we count on him a lot to get us going early in ball games. And defensively, there's nobody better in our area, I don't think, as far as his defensive tools and his work ethic, things like that. And then we have some other guys coming back that played some pretty crucial innings last year, but Zach Earnhardt being one of them. He's our lone home run coming back from last year. He had some health problems over the summer, arm problems, but he's on his way back, getting healthy. As far as returning guys, that's about it. We lost 8 starters off of last year's team with those seniors. So, we've got a good mixture of veteran guys, juniors and seniors. We only have 2 juniors in the whole program. So we'll have 6 seniors this year and 2 juniors. And then we have a great mixture of young talent in our freshman and sophomore class that, we're going to have to count on at times to come in and be productive for us this year. But I have a lot of faith in them. They're good kids who work hard, and, they've bought into, what the older guys are preaching to them, because it's not about me. It's not about our other coaches. It's about these kids in the program for 5-6 years who have, built that reputation up around the school and in the program to lead. And these younger guys are definitely buying into it in the weight room and during the open season. So I'm excited. But like I said, it might be a little rough early on getting some experience for those younger guys, but once they do, I think, we'll be in pretty good hands moving forward.
Yeah, exactly. And I know you've had success at that C team and JV level with what I've seen the past few years. Those guys are just winning. And that's going to be huge at that varsity level because they expect to win.
Absolutely.
What about those top newcomers you got coming? You see, you don't return a lot of starters. Who are you expecting right now?
Yeah. We actually have a transfer coming in from Colorado. His name is Daniel Counts. They moved here for some church obligations in the area. And he's actually playing basketball right now, but he's super athletic, great kid. And what I love most about him is the first time I met him, I said, "So what position do you play?" And he goes, "Coach, I'll play wherever you want me to." That was, that was an A grade early on with him, but he,
Yeah.
great kid, super athletic. We have a sophomore coming up. He was a freshman last year. He actually pitched for us against Blue Ridge and got the win on the road last year for us, Ian McCrary. He's a sophomore, doesn't look like a sophomore, but he'll get on the mound and he'll pepper that strike zone and be down there for us and give us a lot of good innings. And then of course, Braden Morrow, he's a junior this year. I know y'all have been keeping up with him this summer. He's got a lot of potential. I think last year was a little bit of a sophomore slump, and I think he would admit that. But this year he seems to be dialed in, focused, and working his tail off. And from what we saw in that open season in October, if he swings it like he did then, we're going to be in pretty good shape wherever he is in our lineup. So.
Yeah, Morrow's an exciting one to watch as we had him at the future games this summer. He'll be exciting to watch in the spring for sure if he figures it all out and puts it together.
Yeah.
So I know your region changes just a little bit. I think you lose BHP, right?
Ran BHP,
and I think do you add Crescent and Walhalla in?
Yes, sir. That's right.
Okay, so it changes a little bit. Do you expect the competitiveness to stay the same as it was from last year?
Oh, absolutely. Even without Ran and BHP, this region is going to be cutthroat. I think the last 2 years, our region winner has had 3 losses. Maybe not last year with Seneca, but 2 years ago, West Oak won it with 3 losses. So, I mean, it's a dog-eat-dog region for sure. And, adding Crescent and Walhalla, I know Coach Cummings and Blair, they do great jobs there. So it's going to be competitive. I'm kind of glad we only play twice a week, to be honest with you, because I don't know how we'd fare if we had to play him 3 times. But, with Seneca up there and those arms, that McGovern kid, he's the real deal. Clemson's getting a really good pitcher and a good kid. And, I think we were the only team last year that had an earned run off of him. And it just so happened he left the runner on when he came out. So we really didn't knock it in off of him. We just happened to produce a run there late in the game. But, and then add in Pendleton and, the guys they have coming back. I know they only had like 2 or 3 seniors last year. So, I mean, it's going to be tough. It's going to be really tough from day one for us to get out there and be competitive and hopefully find a way to get in the playoffs this year.
Yeah, no doubt. And that region prepares you for that playoffs as well. Like I said, if you had made it to the playoffs last year, you were prepared and you were going to make a run because of what you faced throughout the year.
Absolutely.
And this region definitely helps you get there to the end as well. As you saw, I think 2 years ago, you had West Oak make it to the state championship.
That's right.
They were prepared. And that's big to have a region like that where it's a battle day in, day out.
And our schedule early on is really tough. I've done that every year on purpose. We'll finish every season 15-11, but 7 of those losses have come to 5A and 4A big time schools that, I want to test us. I want us to get smacked around sometimes so we can, you learn a lot more from losing. So I think early on in the season, not that I expect to lose, but some of those games are tough and it's done on purpose. So
it creates adversity for those guys, which is good in high school.
Yes,
they need to see that because they're going to face it later at some point. So going into this 2023 season, what are your strengths going to be as a team?
I think it's been our strength kind of from day one since I took over. We're going to hit the ball well. I think we're not going to have the same home run productivity we had last year just because, guys like Brody Kahn and Brooks Morrow don't come along all the time. But, we've got guys that understand at bats. They understand the ins and outs of pitch counts and base runners and where to try and put the baseball. And, we practice gap to gap every day. So I think we've got a chance to swing it pretty well again this year. And we're going to run the bases extremely well. We're super athletic, super quick. We take a lot of pride in taking advantage of, our opportunities on the bases. And I think that won us a couple games last year, just being opportunistic on the bases. That's something we'll continue this year. But I expect us to be super athletic on the bases and swing it hopefully pretty well.
Yeah, that's why I always enjoy coming to watch Daniel play. You're going to get a bunch of offense at that game, and it's always fun to watch, especially when guys know how to run the bases at a high school level because it's so big.
Yes, sir.
So kind of building off of that, what are your expectations for this high school season?
I watched Coach Cummings' video the other day from Walhalla, and I'm going to piggyback off of what he said. Expectations can be a dangerous thing. I've had teams in the past where I expected us to to win a lot of games and then we don't.
Yeah.
And I've had a lot of teams where I expect us to struggle a little bit and then we're super successful. So I think for us, the expectation this year and every year is let's be as good as we can be every time we step on the field. And hopefully that means we're not as good we're not our best our first game, but we're playing our best by the end of the season. So I think expectations are, you expel every bit of juice out of that turnip, and as the season goes on, you grow and kind of define who you are as the season goes on instead of, let's set a goal of 20 wins. We're not going to do that, but I think expectations are dangerous and you have to be careful with them. So for us, we're going to be as good as we can be every day we step on the field. So.
Then it's like Cummings said, you set that, if you set that expectation of winning a region, what's next?
Absolutely.
Like you kind of lost at that point.
Yeah.
And then if you set one too high, like winning a state championship and you don't make it, you kind of at bottom there.
Yeah.
So they can be difficult. And I think what you said, right on, your best day in, day out, no matter what.
Yes, sir.
And that builds a great program. And I know you have a great program at Daniel, if I've seen over the years. Yeah, so we definitely appreciate you joining the show. I can't wait to get out and watch you guys since you're in my neck of the woods.
Yeah, absolutely. Looking forward to it. Get ready to get started. So.
Yes, sir. Well, we appreciate it, PBR. And if there's anything we can do for you, please let us know.
Absolutely. Thank you. Appreciate y'all.
Yes, sir.